What's up, everyone? This is BigPowner, and today I'm going to teach you how to create a +2 Chaos Amulet with all guaranteed crafting. Um, really easy, really simple. This is a really easy craft to make since we have access to Harvest. Without Harvest, this craft is near impossible. It's basically just a luck craft, um, spamming tons of faceted fossils, which is not a fun way to try to make an item, especially when faceted fossils are when harvest isn't in the game are even more expensive. So that's not a fun way to do it. Luckily now harvest has gone core, so we have to be smart about how we use our harvest. But this is definitely a very smart way to use the harvest because it's going to create you a very powerful item, very cheaply, very easily. So let's jump into it. Um, for starters, you need a +1 to dexterity skill gems. The reason why we need +1 to dexterity skill gems is because the skill gems are our main skills, and toxic rain is our main skill. So we need the dexterity. The other thing that we're going to be adding to this, we're going to make it look like this. We're going to have the plus to level of all chaos skill gems. So that's the goal, that's the main goal. The easiest way to do this is to, if you just want that, is to basically just take and get, or if you're working on making your amulet look like mine, and you want it to be the strongest it can possibly be right away, if you block your suffixes and you only have open a prefix, you augment chaos. Augment chaos one time, and it will guaranteed give you the +1 to all chaos skill gems. Why is that? We will show you. Okay. So here we have amulets. Here we have our influence. Our influence. Chaos is tagged the +1 to level of all chaos skill gems. It is tagged with chaos. Nothing else on this influence is tagged with chaos. Nothing else in our prefixes is tagged with chaos either. So if we augment chaos and we don't have open suffixes, it 100% every time will give you the +1 to chaos skill gems. I wanted to have the chaos damage over time multiplier and the +2 to skill gems. So I have taken a little bit further. I did it the easy way to do that also, which is to just have open two suffixes, one prefix, and just augment chaos 3 times. This guarantees that I have a +1 to chaos skill gems, plus the plus chaos damage over time multiplier, and also chaos resistance. For myself, my chaos resistance is still not maxed, so I actually wanted chaos resistance on my necklace. So that just made it an easy way for me to get the chaos damage over time multiplier, the +1 to chaos, and have a +2 amulet with chaos multiplier and chaos resistance, which I needed anyways. So I just went with the easy way and just augment chaos 3 times. Bam, I got a +2 amulet, and I got the chaos damage over time multiplier and chaos resistance. Why is that? Because the only tags for chaos are these two. There's only 2 tiers of it, which is kind of good because there's not a big difference in, it's not like there's a tier 5 where it's giving you like 4% and then there's a tier 16, so it's like a massive difference. And then the chaos resistance. So this is a 1500 stat, and we've got 500 stats on each one of the multipliers. So you have a 40% chance, augmenting into the bottom, the suffixes, that you'll hit the chaos damage over time multiplier. A 20% chance that you'll hit the tier 1 if you don't already have chaos resistance on there. There's no way to block the chaos resistance using a craft because the only crafts that we have available are the dual mod. You can see right here. This is a dual mod. My crafted one. It's 15% fire resistance, 15% chaos resistance. That's a dual mod that does not block the inherent or the natural roll chaos. So that's something to keep in mind. Like I said, I want chaos resistance, so I actually crafted more chaos resistance onto this. Um, Anyways, let's talk about why we have to start with the dexterity skills on there. The only tag that is on here is the to level of all dexterity skill gems. It's 200 stat, and if we're trying to roll it on there, the only way that we can get it, there's no way to harvest it on there, so we have to start with it on there. Um, Absolutely have to. If you start wasting augments and stuff like that, you're basically just screwing yourself because there's going to be no way to get that plus to dexterity skill on there. As far as getting it, there are some different options that you can do to start off with that plus to dexterity. The first one is you can just buy a plus one, buy a base that already has it on it. Obviously, that's the easiest option because you know what you're getting. You buy it, you have it. There's no trying, no hassle, no fuss. You get what you buy. But if they start becoming more expensive, you might be like, hey, I want to go a different route, or say they don't have the base that you want. Like the best base, in my opinion, for a toxic rain build is the agate amulet because the total stats it gives is 48 to stats. And we need both strength and intelligence. So an agate amulet is the best choice. Also, you might want to have it at a certain item level so you have access to all the top tier mods. You might not care about that, but having the ability to roll like item level 84 for the tier 1 resistances in case you hit one as your third mod down there, probably not that important because we're going to be putting 4 mods on it, so we're going to have probably going to be wanting life as our 5th on the top, and then you're going to have an open slot to craft, or you might go for natural 6. That's kind of a decision for you. So the item level is not going to matter too much past having the ability to get this on there, which is item level 80. And for this is 82, so obviously the very minimum you can have is an 82 base. But higher than that, probably not going to matter too much for this build because the requirement for a tier 1 chaos resistance is 81. So that's kind of up to you. But let's say there's all bad bases that have the +1 to dexterity skill gems that you just don't want, or they're overpriced. How else can you do it? First option, you can just use alterations. You can just spam it on there. Um, that is an option. You can just spam. You can just spam alterations till you hit it, and then once you hit it, you regal it, and then you go to your chaos slamming. Your chaos augmenting through harvest. The other option is if, for instance, I don't want to take forever trying to hit it because I realize that my chance of hitting this, it's a 200 stat for the dexterity skill gems, and there's a lot of other stuff that it can hit, so pretty low chance, so a lot of alteration spamming. If you want to give yourself a little bit better of a chance, you could go with faceted fossils. Faceted fossils, though, they tend to be one of the most, usually the second most expensive fossil, so that might not be the best idea. It might wind up costing more, or it might wind up costing less just because of how rare that stat is. The thing is there's other gem tags, like we have 4 or 5 gem tags here. Um, Gives it a +10, so that would make it a 2000 stat. But then all of these would be a 2000 stat. Um, so it's going to give us a lot better chance of hitting it, but you know, you're kind of gonna have to decide if that's the way that you want to go. But there's just a few options. Those are pretty much the two only realistic options is alteration spamming, or alteration spamming, buying, or using faceted fossils to get your initial base on there. The thing that I will say is if you wind up getting the a +1 to like intelligence, a +1 to strength. You might want to just take and sell the base to recoup some of your currency instead of just throwing it away because there are going to be people that are going to be looking to make dual mod, dual +2 skill gems for other types. The dexterity in general is probably going to be the most sought after, but there are going to be other builds that are going to be using different +2 amulets. So intelligence, like casters are going to be using them. So they're still sought after. My suggestion would be, if I spent 40C on a fossil and I get something that now, because it has a +1 on it, that base is worth 100C, then I probably want to sell that and then just try on another one. Or maybe you just don't want to deal with the hassle of that and you just want to keep rolling. That's kind of your own decision. I don't know. I don't know everyone's currency situation, but I'm just giving all the options out there. Um, so that's pretty much it. That's how to craft it. The one other thing is kind of like a more expensive option that I want to have out there, so it's in people's heads. Probably a lot of people are not going to be like, "Oh, that's what I want to do." Uh, Oh, I want to throw 2x on a craft that I'm going to remove. But I want to put this out there because some people will. They'll just be like, I got kind of a hairy, sticky situation on this amulet, and I just want to fix it quick. Say I only have one open suffix, and I've got remove add. Remove non-chaos, add chaos. You can craft on prefixes cannot be changed. And then you could do remove non-chaos, add chaos. The thing about this is it can get pretty expensive doing this, because if you're trying to do 2 add removes, then you could wind up if you have to do 2 add removes off the bottom, like say I have one suffix and I want both the chaos resistance and the chaos damage over time multiplier, I craft on prefixes cannot be changed because I already have my +1 dexterity on there. It can wind up removing the prefixes cannot be changed on the first roll. You have a 50-50 chance. So say it removes its prefixes cannot be changed, then you'd have to craft it on again to remove either the prefixes cannot be changed or your other stat down there to add your last chaos. The other thing that you can use that for is, say I have one chaos stat on my suffixes and I want to re-roll it using remove chaos, add chaos, to give yourself the best chance of actually re-rolling that one stat. Because like I said, say you're someone that doesn't want, you're like, I don't want to have chaos resistance on my amulet. You would craft on prefixes cannot be changed, assuming you already have your +1 to chaos skill gems on there. So we'll look here. So say I wind up hitting, low chaos resistance, and the only thing I want is a chaos multi, or say I hit the tier 2 chaos damage over time multiplier, and I want the tier 1, I could craft on prefixes cannot be changed, and then I could do remove chaos, add chaos. The only way that you have to do this is if you already have on your chaos skill gems, and the reason why is because you could wind up removing this if you already have it on there, and then you're just making your pool larger, and then you'd still have on that bad stat that you don't want on the suffix. That's the reason why you would do this. Just putting this option out there. The other option around this would be to augment chaos on the bottom one time, like if you only want the chaos damage over time multiplier. Block your prefixes, like, craft something on there as a placeholder. Augment chaos if you don't get your tier 1 chaos damage over time multiplier. Do your remove adds on the bottom till you have your tier 1 chaos multiplier. Block the bottom and then open the top and then augment chaos onto your top. And that would make it so that, you could have a guaranteed way to get the tier 1 chaos damage over time multiplier and your +1. There's lots of ways that you can use that combination. Just remember, prefixes cannot be changed is expensive. It's a couple exalts. And it can be removed if you do remove non-chaos, add chaos. So 2 things to keep in mind if you're going to use that. I know a lot of people won't use that option. A lot of people will be like me, even though I know how to do it. I'm just like, 3 augments and my item is done. Anyways, I hope that this video was helpful. If you guys like this, give it a like. If you're not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Peace.